this yesterday. Yeah, I remember. Quick analysis I didn't complete. I remember I had just come till the running total yesterday. Okay. Before I start, is it recording? Yes, it is recording. Okay. Okay. Here, when I come to this quick analysis, we were up to this either the running total over here onto the columns or the row wise. Okay. And running total is nothing but the cumulative effect only you're going to have. More logical if we talk about with the timeline. Here onto the column headers, you have got your quarters. So for quarter one, if I just select this, oh, not this, sorry, this one. Yeah, for quarter one, it will be B2 to B5. B2 is being freezed out. It's freezed with the help of our absolute referencing. And when you come to your quarter two, it's your 1 and 2 together. When that's your B2 to C5, when we come to 3, quarter 3, 1, 2, 3. And when we come to the fourth quarter, it's all the 4 quarters inclusive. That's how the cumulative effect. I did give the example of a recurring deposit, wherein you can opt out for the interest payment for the maturity time. So what happens with the bank is just going to keep on accumulating your either month-wise or quarter-wise, however it is, they're going to keep on accumulating the interest, and you are going to get the interest paid at the maturity time. Okay. Now, after that, I'll just delete this. So let me go to You have your tables. I'm not going to select this. I'll just hover my mouse over that option. And we like you can use the quick analysis for your insertion, like creation of a table. I remember while talking about how to create a table or how to insert a table, I had shown you 4 ways. Control T was the easiest like keyboard shortcut. Then you would come to insert and then table. Then in the form tab, you have something like format as table. And this was the 4th method I remember. So this way is just it's just showing me how I can, like what is the table going to look like when we are going to build one with the data set that we have. Okay, next is your pivot table. Okay, I'm not going to discuss it as of now. We have pivot tables much later in the course. We'll go there. We will have a detailed sessions on what is a pivot table, or just as a one-liner, I can just say, as of now, the pivot table is nothing but a summarization tool. I can summarize very large data sets in just a couple of mouse clicks. My job is going to be much more easier. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. So if you want to insert a blank pivot table, you can use this option. Okay. Last of it is your Sparkline. Now, Sparklines are mini charts. It's even written there in the down. Sparklines are mini charts placed in a single cell. Why they say single cell is, say, if I just select this whole data, I come over to the insert tab, you have this whole bunch of this charts ribbon is there, which I can utilize to create a chart. Say I can use here what I can use. This is possible, or even this. Either of them. See, if I choose this like clustered column, let me pick as of now one. Okay, I just chose this clustered column. We'll come to what it is a bit later. Like when we come to charts and all, we are going to definitely discuss about it. Now, but this chart that I've just inserted or created, it's a floating one. Yes, is it a floating one? I can move it. It's like a floating or a movable one. Yes, but the sparklines that I'm going to show you, and moreover, this, of course, it's movable, like movable as in mobile, not the mobile phone that I'm talking about, the actual meaning of the English word mobile. Okay, that mobile, and yes, it's floating, and then it's not confined to a single cell. It's not, in fact, not even there in a single cell. It's just going on and no specific location. You cannot say that, okay, it's there in this particular cell reference. I cannot say that for a chart, normal chart. But for a Spark line, definitely I can say that because it will be very much confined within a single cell. That's the speciality of a Spark line. And within that small space also, it's going to convey a good lot of insights to us. That's your Sparklines all about. Maybe I have talked too much. I'll show you how to create one. Okay, 1 second. I'll delete this chart for you all. Okay, here, see the quick analysis has got your Sparklines. I can insert Sparkline from here also. Okay, quick analysis is like that favorite bar. I just or some favorite icon. I instead of like 4 to 5 clicks, mouse clicks, I can achieve that in 2 to 3 clicks. That's the whole logic of all about. Okay, I'll come here and just say line. It is introducing. It is very much giving me a line spark line, not line chart, line spark line. And the moment you inserted one, you're getting a formatting tab as well. Now, what is it really showing me? Now, these 4 figures are there now for Asia. The 4 quarter figures, quarter sales figure, it's very much plotted here. Since it's a mini chart confined within a cell, single cell, you cannot have data labels. Data labels as in just each, and these are 4 data points. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. I can just know the trend of that sales, how it is over time. I can just know that. But actual value, I won't know. See, every other chart shouldn't, like every other chart, uh, like every other detail cannot be given by every other chart. Each and every chart has it got its own speciality or advantages. I mean, advantages or maybe the pros and cons of every other chart. Yes, I'm not able to really show up or display that actual value for those 4 data points, but at least it communicates to me how the trend has been there over the 4 quarters for a particular region. Say for Asia, I can see here 140 to 143. Yes, you may say there is an increase in sales, definitely. Okay, but it's more or less a straight line, not even a slant, like a it's not increasing, but not a really good increase also. I can say that. But from quarter three, there's a really good decrease in sales. I can very much know that by the steep downfall. Then from Q3 to Q4, at least something better, around 20,000 increase has been there. That's why a small steep, not even a sharp raise, a small chalega rise, that kind of a thing. So at least see here. And from what about Europe? From Q1 to Q2, nice increase has been there. So it's showing me from Q2 to Q3, very good increase, even more better. The line, the steep, the angle of the line is much better. From 198 to 182 from Q3 to Q4. So small dip in sales. So the purpose of Sparkline is to just show me the trend. And the best part of Sparkline is it's not going to occupy a whole lot of space, just a single cell. With that single cell, it is creating the magic. It is giving me a good information as to how the sales trend is all about. Here, it's a sales, all about sales. It could be any other metric also. It could be profit, it could be discount, it could be quantity, whatever you think of. Especially a numerical value, how it is changing over time. That trend is very much being shown up, or I can use the spark line to show up what is the trend. Clear? Yes, clear.
Yes, ma'am.
From line, I can switch over to column. I can just click on this. It will now show as a column to me. Column, how it is like showing me, see, based on these values, the length or the height of the column is altering. I may use a column chart also. Yes, there are some formatting changes that I will love to apply. Don't worry, we have an Excel workbook dedicated entirely for my spark lines. How are you going to build in one? How you can format them? What is it that you're going to highlight? And even the access options and all are there over here. We'll get to know that. But as a preliminary on a basis, this is what is all about the column. That was a line, this is a column. Next is your win loss. Win loss is generally used for your negative values, like your if you have your profit and loss values, you can very much use this. Say suppose in this quarter three, I just insert a negative sign over here. It just dipped down now. So you can imagine this to be your zero axis. So above the zero axis, those columns are your profit values and the below ones are your negative. And yes, you may have some change of colors also if you want. And with your win loss, it's always best to show up the negative points. Okay. Not a blue and red. I will go for green and red. That looks much more better for me. Maybe here I'll change it to a red. This I'll put it to red again. See how it is changing. I can say on which quarter the loss we have incurred loss for which region. I can know that. Win loss is for especially the profit loss only. Because, yeah, no other metric as in, yeah, there are others. I'm not saying that no other, but as in on a, yeah, profit only may have a negative value. Sales won't have a negative value. Discount cannot have. And yes, your maybe quantity is there. It's a numerical value that you might encounter quite often. That also you won't find it in negative value. So profit loss, ideal one, Sparkline is your win loss. Fine. Okay. There is an example over here for your running total. It's the same data that you have been seeing quite good long time. It was there in your ranges and tables as well. Here, if you had to manually find out the running total, you can apply the formula for it. There is no running as such running formula, no exclusive function is there for it. I can utilize the same SVM with small technique. F2 to F2. But if it had been like F to F, not that row part is not mentioned, F to F means it's an entire column. That what that F to F means. This is that entire value. Okay. But here it starts from F2 for the first one. Of course, you have to put it in absolute referencing. And now if I double click, things are going to be like first starting reference is going to be fixed. Just the ending reference, every other record, it's just going to keep on accumulating. That's it. So all good, fine with the running total, the quick analysis, especially this Sparkline and all that we saw today. All good. Any questions you have, let me know. Data validation, we have done date function assignment. Did anyone try the date function assignment? I didn't get one. I got all those drop down list and text functions. Maybe you have not come there. It's okay. Date function drop down list is also done. Name range, I have to come over here. Yeah. Subtotal should be the next one if I'm not wrong. Protection done, this done. Sparklines a bit later. You have your statistical functions. Okay, one thing I'll do, I'll talk about the subtotal first. If you have completed that, we'll start off with the statistical. Okay. Text is also done. So after your subtotal and statistical, we are to come to the most famous VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP only. Especially lookup functions, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and your index and match. Anyway, I'll open up the subtotal feature and subtotal function today. I'm closing this off. Any questions are there? Let me know. As of now, I'm moving on. Yes. Okay. By the name subtotal, we have a function. Okay, I'm starting off. Anything you want me to wait? You are going to open up? You want me to wait? I'll wait. Or else I'll start straight away. Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're seeing here the workbook name itself is subtotal feature as well as subtotal function, which is very much evident that you have an Excel feature called subtotal. Okay, you will be creating an outline. You'll just see in some sort of summary. You will be really like at each grouping, you will find out a summary. I'll show you how. And even you have a subtotal function. Now, before I start, has anyone noticed anytime or anywhere before this particular session, the subtotal session, anyway that I have seen a subtotal function being used? Can anyone, anyone has noticed?
Like a supermarket bill, ma'am.
Supermarketer.
Bill, ma'am. Bill. That one. Maybe I'm wrong. That subtotal you're asking, ma'am.
1 minute. Talking about this summer. But it's not a supermarket here. That you're talking about the data supermarket. It's not a supermarket data.
Subtotal.
Hmm?
Subtotal, ma'am. Not this one. You have started the session right now, ma'am. That one. General word where I have seen in subtotal, I'm telling.
Subtotal feature is available over here, ma, in data.
Oh, this one, oh, in Excel. Okay, okay.
I'm not. Were you thinking about Power BI or Tableau somewhere? I don't know. Anyway, I'm not talking about the feature. Feature, I'll tell you. But can anyone recollect somewhere you would have? I mean, I haven't specifically shown you the subtotal function. You're going to learn now only. But anyone remembers anywhere you've seen it? Definitely, a few of my whenever I would have earlier sessions, I remember I by mistake going there. Not by mistake, but really showing up also. Not really giving you a complete understanding of it, but at least a brief would have been there, definitely. Nobody? Okay. Do you remember total row from our tables? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
That total row, the aggregation that which it calculates for me, the help of the total row, the tables which are calculating the aggregations, those are using my subtotal function. If which one is a table? I don't remember which is a table. Let me see. 1 minute. It's just a table, yeah. It's a subtotal function. Okay. Anyway, just wanted to know if at all you people have noticed sometime. Never mind, we are going to learn it now. So by the same name, you have an Excel feature as well as a function. First, let me go with the feature part. Now here the data shows you there are 3 products, product A, B and C. And you have like for each product, you have got more than 1 records over here. Okay, how more than 1 records? Maybe it could be like different times the product would have got sold. So those all those records, that details on which time period and it was sold, that's not given. But definitely you have got more than 1 record for each product. And what was the quantity sold? And the price as in you can put it as, you can just assume it as manufacturing price. Then comes your revenue and shipping. So revenue is obviously the one which like we are going to earn. It could be profit loss. Profit loss is different. Profit is revenue minus your price. That is your profit. It could be if it's a positive value, then it's a profit. Negative means it will be a loss. Shipping is the transportation charges while transporting the product from the manufacturing end, or from the manufacturing end, or from that factory or a particular outlet to the customer's area. Anyway, these are the two that we are really spending. This is something that you are earning. Okay. See here in data tab at the last of it, I have got my subtotal. At times this with every other version of Excel, these options might be there here and there scattered in any of the ribbons. In general, it will be along with this group and ungroup only. And what is the subtotal? Quickly calculate rows of related data by inserting subtotals and totals. What is it that I'm going to do is, I'm going to group these products like product A clubbing or grouping, product B second group, product C third group. For each group, I can find out and I can apply aggregates. Either we apply the total aggregates, it will be like a grand total. If we apply aggregates at like say some grouping we are doing, and with each grouping, if you are going to find out there's those aggregates will be called as subtotal or group totals. If we say for your understanding, I'm mentioning as group total. Better word is just subtotal. Okay. My cell is very much inside the data. I'm going to select this subtotal over here. Now Is it visible, or you want me to, I cannot make it big actually, but is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Now better? Full range I have shown you. Now, first question over here, the first option that we are supposed to fill in is at each change in. This is nothing but the grouping. I cannot do the grouping based on numerical values. Obviously, I have to do the grouping based on my text value, which is nothing but product over here. Now, you have other options also. Maybe in this example, it's very much logical for me to do the grouping based on your product. No point in doing the rest. They are numerical values. If your data set is really giving you other text columns, utilize that. Okay, that's the first question. It's already given by default product. So I'm going to continue with that. And what is the aggregation you want to apply at each grouping? Okay. So what is the grouping? In general, it will be a SUM, because SUM is your default aggregation. I might have others also. Definitely, I might have others. I mean, if the requirement says I'm supposed to use an average or maximum, minimum, any other thing, that's different part. But in general, people want to know the total, which is nothing but SUM only. So, okay. So I'm going ahead with my SUM. As I told you, as per requirement, you may change it also. You might give in some other aggregation also. That's your second one. Next is add subtotal to. Just a moment. Give me just a moment. Okay. Next is I told I am going to apply the aggregation SUM, but to which columns that I'm really intending to see. Okay, I want to obviously not at for product because it's a text column. I want to add it for quantity, shipping, and revenue. I don't want for price. You may add. I am choosing here not price. I don't want the price like manufacturing price. I'm not really interested. I want to know total quantity that was being sold, the revenue generated out of that, and maybe to some extent shipping charges also. Okay. So you may even get rid of shipping also. You may just have your quantity and your revenue. That's also very much fine. Now replace current subtotals. Maybe somebody has already applied a subtotal. You want to you're just redoing it. At that time, some subtotals will be already available. You second time when you're trying, it's the option says it's just going to replace it. Okay. You may keep, it's better that you keep it over here. Third option says summary below data. Summary below data is the clubbing, individual subtotal, individual group wise aggregations I'm definitely going to see. That's the purpose of my subtotal. Along with it, I'm going to see that overall value also, like all the three products, like all products together, overall value also I'm going to see. That's what is your summary below data. The proper word is grand total. Of course, you may have page break between groups. Okay, I'll come to this a bit later. As of now, I'm just going for OK. Now, at each grouping, I am really seeing the aggregations. I had chosen SUM, right, as my aggregation. We are even seeing the grand total, that overall value. Okay, here we had chosen SUM, but it has come as subtotal. There is a reason for it. And if at all you remember, in this place, use function as SUM. This drop down showed me more than one aggregations for each, but then how will it understand? If you see here for the subtotal, you have got two arguments. One is some numbering, second is the range on which that aggregation is going to be applied, whichever we have selected. What is that numbering? There are numbers given to each aggregation. If I see here, function number, if I just remove that 9, it will show me the whole range of it. Like number 1 is for average, 2 is for count, 3 is for count A, 4, 5 until 11. Number 9 is for SUM. So what is it that we are doing is we are just selecting the value. They're selecting the aggregation here. In the background, it is just picking up the numbers. If it had to really given that aggregation name like SUM or average, it can be a bit tricky, but I mean, it will just give as in only SUM or maybe anything. Anyway, but my subtotal here, it allows us to calculate 11 different aggregations. Just that 11 numbers are being given. Okay. From the drop down of my subtotal dialog box or that particular feature of Excel features dialog box, we are just selecting the function. Rest all work is done by Excel. And for each aggregation, there is a number given here. We selected SUM, 9 was given here. Okay, that is there. And this 9 SUM is going to be applied on B4 to B5. B4 is quantity 1, quantity 2. Okay, for product A, I'm talking about. What if I come here? Same 9, which is your SUM aggregation on D4 and D5. Here, E4 and E5. If I come at the second grouping, it's your same SUM, but B7 to B10. This is 92 to 69. These four values, four quantity values for product B. Similarly, you're going to see for each and every range or each and like for each product, the records will be there. No? So for each set of records for each product, the SUM is applied on them and we are getting the subtotal, like grouping total, group totals. And that's not the end. You are even seeing a grand total. If you come here, it's the same SUM only, but B4 to B16. It starts here and it ends here. Don't think it has added up the 12 and 1200, I mean 212 also, or 178 also. If I select that whole of it now, it gives me 804. That's not the value, right? Inherently, what it has done is it has just picked up these 4 and these 5. So 5 plus 4 is 9 and 2, 11 records that each individual quantity or the individual rows for every other product has picked up those quantity values and found out the aggregation that's coming up as my grand total. Clear till here? I'm not done yet. There are more to it, but is it okay till here? What is it doing? How the grouping it is doing? You're able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now on to the left hand side, you have got some kind of a minus sign, something like collapse and expand. You have got your numberings also. 3 is this full expansion. Number 2, if I click on 2, it will just show me the 3 subtotals because there are 3 groupings over here, the 3 subtotals and your grand totals. Now, many times people who don't want to see the individual rows or individual values, they don't want to see. If they are wanting to see only the group wise totals, as in subtotals and your grand total, please use the second option. What is number 1? Just the grand total as the overall value only. Okay. That same thing you will get based on these of the minus signs. This is all for your, this is your minus is your collapse and plus is your expansion. Okay. This is number 2. This is what we are seeing for number 2. If I click on this minus, it was number 1. Both ways you can utilize. Okay. Whatever is being asked to show, go ahead and do that. Okay, now this is there. This is actually in, okay, we are seeing it as subtotal feature, definitely, but we are creating something called an outline. Okay. Same thing I have done here over here. I showed you how to do it. Okay, it's done here already. I did show how to do it. Okay. Fine, but subtotal is not this. Did you see only 1 to 11 numbering or did you see more than that? One to 11, there is more to it. I can scroll down. That same 11 aggregates have got different numbering, one more different set of numberings. Meaning to say, 11 aggregates have got 2 sets of numbering. One is just maybe 1 to 11. Another is 101 to 111. There is definitely a reason behind why there are 2 numberings. Okay. Now this 1 to 11, it is kind of like it's for your the subtotal total row and all. It's going on a total row. Total row will be something different. Total row will use that 101 to 111 because the same aggregations but 2 sets. Each set has got its own feature. Okay, how it's there. Just see the magic now. Instead of talking, I'll just show you what it is the case. Say here 12, 11 and 1. 9 is SUM. Let me delete that. 9 is SUM. Scroll down. Let me select 109. Same SUM only, but you will see some magic over here. Okay, I'll come to it. What is the magic? Let me just add in that 109 to that first, the product A grouping. I'll come to that 109. What is the magic? Will come. Okay, only for product A, I have applied that 109. Rest all is just your 9 only. I haven't altered any of them. Only for product A grouping, I've added that 109 as your function number. Let me go, 3 is your full, na? I'll go to 2. 2 is actually the subtotals, the group wise clubbing, group wise totals. I'm seeing the totals for B and C, but I don't see it for A. The reason behind this is 109 will show up like that aggregate value will be shown if the individual values are visible. If the individual values are not visible, it won't show the aggregate. If I just expand this only, see here, when it's in full, I am able to see the individual rows. At that time, it shows me the aggregate. But if I am collapsing it, in other words, I am hiding those individual rows, I don't see the aggregate. That's a speciality of 109. You may think for some time that it's not a advantage. You might think it as a disadvantage. No, it is an advantage only. How I'll come across now. Okay, but for 9, it will be shown, the subtotal value will be shown even if the individual values are not visible. If I expand or if I collapse, doesn't matter. It will show me the aggregate. But for 109, only when the individual values are shown to you or are visible, you are going, like only when they are visible, you're going to see the aggregate. Now, sometime back only we saw the same 11 aggregates have got two numberings. 109 and 9 are the same. 109 is used primarily in tables, especially that 101 to 111. Why reason is, see here, it's a table already. It has just got 8 rows. You have got your employee details over here. Okay, employee details as in you may think like the person is doing sales across 2 regions. What are those different employees? For me, it's a sales. For me and you, it's a salesperson. They are nothing but they are also employees of a certain company, right? So what's their retail price discount? Don't go by the namings over here. Okay. Some numerical values, think of it like that. Or maybe I'll put it as say product ID and product. Okay. Don't think about it. Just think about the individual, these number, this actual numerical values, because at the end of the day, we are going to be concentrating on that only. Okay. Now here we have very much added our total row. If I don't add, obviously it's not going to show me. Total row, whenever I add, na, if you come here, it's 109. If I open it, it's your SUM. If I change it to average, it'll be 101. Okay. That 100 series, I told you, only when it's visible, it's going to show me the aggregate. So when there are two regions, let me remove east. Let me just show up like I'm filtering out west only. It is showing me only the west records total value, total aggregation. East, which is hidden, it's not showing me up. Sometime back you might have thought it's actually an disadvantage. It is a disadvantage in other cases, maybe in a range of cells and all, or maybe in a subtotal or an outline feature. It is a boon in my tables, especially the table total row. Why the total row is beneficial? Okay, why it is beneficial, we all know. But to the tables, total row, if I filter out, if I apply any filters, we all know it shows the aggregate only for the visible rows. The rows which are not visible, it never shows me the aggregate. Hence, it is that 100 series is very much applicable and used in tables for its inherent feature of not showing the aggregate for the rows which are not visible or the rows which are hidden. Got it? Again, if I go for east and check out west, it's going to show me only east. Now here, if you wait 1 minute, you shouldn't do that. Just for your purpose, I'm showing. If you make it 9, it will still work. Not that it's not going to work, but some magic happens. Okay, some magic happens, but 100 series is always by default for our tables. That's the inherent feature, nothing else. Not a big deal about it. Okay, clear? How why there are two sets of numberings for the same 11 functions, how the application is different, what is it used for? Are we good to go? Any questions you have, or can I move on? Any questions? Shall I move on? I'm assuming things are okay. I'm going to move on. Okay. Any questions you might ask me? Okay. Now, one more thing. I'm going to ask you a question over here. Let's just compare the basic SUM and the subtotal. Let's just compare that. It's a table only over here. Okay. Table one is the name. It's nothing but employee details like name, their ID, their name, which department they are working in, and what is their hourly wage, okay, per hour wage, how many hours they have worked, and what's their total income. Total income will be nothing but the per hour wage into the number of hours they have worked for. You can very well see D4 into E4, basically D and E column multiplication. Since it's a table, I can very well add my total row. I can do that. I'm going to see the total value. I'm going to do something for you all. I'm just going to copy this, paste it over here. Okay. Something is not right. Yeah, it is not right. Wait. Subtotal 109, comma, table 1, income. Yep. Yes. That's my total value, 1,42,000. That same I can very well get using normal SUM. For that also, what do I do? Table income. Same value for me. Okay. Now you are going to tell me if subtotal is better or sum is better. I'll do something, you tell me which is better. I'm going to put a filtering based on my department. Okay. I'm going to pick up only accounting department. Tell me which is better. Yes. Yeah, tell me, is accounting better? Sorry, is your subtotal function is better over here or sum is better? Are you all listening to me? Am I audible? Is my question clear to you all? Please respond, yeah. I know it's Friday, almost to the end
Subtotal,
of it, I know. Huh?
subtotal is better than ma'am.
Okay, subtotal is better. Why, ma?
You can filter, that means it will show the total of filtering whatever.
You mean to say that it's showing me the total income for accounting department only, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Basically, whichever department you have filtered,
It will
that
be shown the total.
total income only it is showing me.
Yeah.
But why not sum? Sum is not better, ma? Or sum, what do you think about sum? Is it not good?
Some, yeah, it's also good, ma'am. If you don't want to filter anything, it will be only use some. It's better. Depends upon ours, ma'am. I think so.
Can you come again for sum? Something you told. I just missed. I couldn't get you. Sum, what did you tell?
Ma'am, sum is a total sum only. It will be show. So depends upon ours. Whatever we want, only totals or subtotals means we can use. If you want
Ah,
to
correct.
filter,
Correct. It's actually based on requirement. if my requirement is something like I have to show the overall total at all the time, means I have to use sum only. But when I am using subtotal, like tables are always going to show me the aggregate for the visible values or the values which are getting filtered. So subtotal is better. In this case, it is better. Of course, if your requirement says something else, that you are going to give in the other answer. You are going to show the other thing. Even otherwise, in general, not restricting ourselves to a specific requirement, I will say subtotal is better than your SUM. For that flexibility, for that dynamic nature of subtotal, that's what is the better option for us. Okay, all good.